More random NixOS configuration. Are you with me? Are you with me? Get yourself a beverage. Here we go. Okay, so the last video I set up Home Manager, and I configured a SSH caching solution under it. I'm going to go back in this video to setting up sort of remaining niggling hardware that that hadn't got set up in previously. So I wanted to show you in a prior video I claimed that the tuning done by TLP was not very aggressive on this system. I was wrong. I forgot to pull the power cord out. That's why it wasn't very aggressive. When the power's attached, it doesn't do very much, but when it's not, it does. So let me just get out of here real quick, and I'll show you what I mean. So sudo PowerTop. PowerTop is a program that shows you power drain in sort of detail form, and it also shows you the kinds of things that could be tuned to make your power draw less. So the tunables are over here. I said, wow, it looks like there's a lot of bad there that could be turned into good. Well, the way you do that is you pull the power cord. You pull the power. Like that. I just pulled the power. And now if I go to tunables, it's much more aggressive. The only thing not enabled is VM write back time. As a matter of fact, it's probably a little too aggressive. I think some of the stuff like enable runtime power management for my SSD. Yeah, I doubt that's gonna go well. That's probably not gonna go very well. But I'm gonna leave it the way it is. I just wanted to show you. So it is being very, very aggressive. So let's see what its estimated time is. 2 hours 18 minutes. That seems very, very high. Very, very low. Let's see here. Do we have? Whoop. I'm just putting the brightness down on the panel here. Let's see. 27 watts. Oh, that's because we're using the NVIDIA GPU. So yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it would be about there. I suspect that we're going to get about 6, 7, 8 hours out of it if I change over to using the Intel GPU. But I'm way too lazy to do that right now, so I'm not going to do that. I don't really care that much. I am glad that the brightness buttons work. That's really good. Let's see if the volume buttons work. Ooh, volume works too. How about that? Okay. You never know, man. It's Linux. You never know. Okay. Let's get out of there. Okay. So, this thing has a fingerprint reader, which I don't care if it works or not. It's just, I'm just a completionist. So, I've made it work on other systems. So, I just want to see if I can make it work on this one. More or less, what you're supposed to be able to do is to, is to basically just do something like, configuration.nix. Oh, I gotta get rid of this. We're not trying to do that anymore. That's left over from the last video. I should be able to do something like this. Services print fprint t enable equal true. Matter of fact, let me just delete one of these duplicate lines here. If I had other kinds of hardware, all I would really need to do is that, and then I probably would need to go into the BIOS and clear the fingerprint data, and then use this fprint d enroll program that gets installed as a result of putting this line in the configuration. However, the Fingerprint sensor in here is a validity sensor ink sensor, not a synaptic sensor like a bunch of the other ThinkPads. And this fprint D does not work out of the box in this configuration with it. So there's another, if you search for this number on Google, and search for that in NixOS, you'll find some information. You should be able to then, instead of just that one line, fprint D enable, you should be able to, according to the docs, and this comes from the people that write the stuff, you should just be able to do that, and then it would probably work. I mean, that's what the docs say anyway. So let's give it a shot. Sudo NixOS rebuild switch. Here we go. It's going to build some stuff for us. Okay. Bash found. Mason build. GNOME deep. Okay. So it doesn't work. And I care so little that I'm not even going to bother trying to fix it. But if you care, if you deeply care that your fingerprint reader works and you have a Thinkpad P51, you got some work to do. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. That's all. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of that. And let's configure, let's set up KDE Connect, which is a super useful tool for transferring stuff between your mobile phone and your computer. So I always lose where this. There we go. Okay. So I do KDE Connect. KDE, that's the name of it. NixOS rebuild switch. Is it in there? What? Oh, right. I might have to use the full name of the damn thing. This really confuses me. I don't. I really do not understand which of these names I'm meant to use. I've used this name, the name of things in this list. All the other things in this list use the name. But in this case, I need to use the identifier? Does that sound reasonable to you? Does that? Does really? Why? I don't want the URL. Oh man. Copy. What pastes when I put it in there? Okay. Really? Is this true? Okay. I am utterly baffled by that behavior. That is. I am sorry. That makes zero sense to me whatsoever. Yeah. I mean that is a consistency fail, without a doubt. All these are like Vim configurable. That's the name. OBS Studio, that's the name. I know that's the name. Wow. Okay. That is irritating. Alright, so I think I may need to log out and log back in to see KDE Connect here. So pardon me while I do that. Okay. I rebooted, and indeed, we now have KDE Connect in there. And I won't go through the pairing a device. That probably works. All right. That's good. That was easy. Okay, so I also want to turn off caps lock because it's useless, and I don't want to map it to control. Thank you very much. I'm okay. I got a control key. Let's see. Services X server. So services X server. Okay. I have no patience for this. I have no patience for Vim. I really want. I need to install me some Emacs. All right. Configure KeyMac. I'll just cut and paste it. No point in typing it. Oh man. How with I understand that I'm an old man shouting at the cloud. I get it. But how possibly could I have a 3 gigahertz machine with 7 cores in it, 8 cores, I don't know. It's huge. And I push the right button. Listen. Ready? Oh, no, of course now it works. Let's see. Select something else. Push the right button. Okay, well, hey. All right. Loosen up. On keyboard. Copy. All right. Whatever, man. It just seemed like it was taking a long time. I know. I'm irritable. Okay, so let's see. Key map. XKB options, control, no caps. That should shut off. Like right now, if I push the caps lock key, I can see it light up. So I'll know that worked if I push the caps lock key and it doesn't light up. So let's do that. We'll run our sudo NixOS rebuild. NixOS rebuild. Switch. Alright. Alright, so if I push it now, it still lights up, so I think I'm going to need to log out and log back in again. Let me do that now. I'll stop this thing, and I'll be back. Sure enough, my caps lock key, when I push it, no longer lights up. I no longer have a caps lock key. Excellent. Excellent. Total win. Total win. Alright, so VI projects, NixOS scripts, no, 6-bit scripts. Okay, we're making good enough time that I think I'm just going to continue with the rest of the steps and not make a separate video. I'm just sort of deciding based on video length what to put in videos and what not to. Okay, so the other steps I want to do, and I think this will probably be the last thing, at least the last video that has, steps in it. I might make one more video about my thoughts about NixOS after this one. Maybe not though. Maybe I'll just make it a mystery. But I'm going to the 3 things I have remaining are to install Emacs, install Git, and set up ZSH in a more comprehensive way. So let's do that. Let's set up Emacs. And this will be all be under the Home Manager. All those three things will be done under the Home Manager section in the configuration. All right, so I think, let me just make sure. Yeah, I'm gonna use 2 space indents here because that's what I used elsewhere. So. Yeah, indeed. Okay, and then I'm going to just put some character returns in here. So, oh, come on, Vim, get it together, buddy. Okay, and let's do it. Let's just put this in here. Now, of course, there's. Did you? I'm not sure if you heard my right click there. Did you hear my right click? Ooh, it took like, I don't know, like a second for that menu to come out. How's that possible? How is it possible? I don't know. And this is like on a barely configured system too. So okay, one thing at a time here. One thing at a time, man. So we just got those 2 lines. I tried to just put in the services Emacs enable true because Emacs has a client server mode. There's a program called Emacs, and if you run it in the foreground, it's the text editor. But if you run it a certain way, it's a daemon that runs headless, and then it's connected to by this other program called Emacs Client. Really useful. Just to keep it running all the time in the background. It keeps all the windows open, all the frames open that you're editing. So I like the Emacs service. That's what services.emacs.enable does. However, if you just put that in there and don't put program Emacs enable, you can't actually run Emacs. So you need both. So all right, let's see if that works. Sudo NixOS rebuild. Switch. I don't see any Emacs in there, do you? But I have done this before on the system, so maybe okay, yeah, it did that stuff because I changed the white space in the XDG config file stuff for the SSH things. So if I hadn't done that, it probably wouldn't have spit out almost any derivations at all because, yeah, I got it. Roger. So let's see now. I switched. I should have Emacs. Do I have Emacs? I do. Whoa. Okay, that's small. Why the hell would it be so small? Okay. I'm not. I have absolutely no idea what to do about that. Maybe what I'll do. Let me just try it. Let me do this. I am going to reboot into Intel mode. Often the scaling of programs, if you run on the Intel GPU versus the NVIDIA GPU, is different. So I'm going to shut down the No, first of all, I'm gonna change the configuration. Let's see, NixOS. Nix. To be in, have the X server, sorry, the NVIDIA driver to be in offload mode instead of sync mode. These two options are mutually exclusive. This means please use the Intel GPU. So I'm going to put it in Intel mode. I'm going to rerun the build. Oh, actually, I just wanted to boot here. I don't think it would really matter that much, but if it tried to switch, it might crap out my OBS, so I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to stop OBS and I'm going to reboot. I think I have to reboot. I don't think I can just log out. Just to be sure, I'm going to reboot. And I'll be back. Okay, I rebooted, and indeed, the window size is much more reasonable under the Intel driver. And honestly, this is not a 4K screen. This is a 1080p screen. So I can't imagine anyone using that other window size. I don't know. But given that the reason I was using the NVIDIA mode, the sync mode inside of the configuration X, was because I was trying to test an external monitor out. So if you plan on using external monitor, which you might, of course, you're gonna have to figure that out. Why are things so small? I am not going to set up. I'm not going to do my Emacs configuration here. I just wanted to get it installed and see that it was legible, which it is. So okay, let's move on. Emacs, check. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use Emacs to edit now because I'm sick of Vim. Sorry, Vimmers. Six of it. Script RST. Okay. And then sudo Emacs and W etc. NixOS configuration. Nix. Okay. It doesn't know about Nix, huh? Okay. Programs Emacs enabled. That's where we were. Okay. Very good. Okay. And I also want to enable Git. Let's take that. God, it takes like half a second for that menu to come up when you right click. Unbelievable. What is it doing? What could it possibly be doing? You know how much time half a second is in computer time? Oh my God. All right. I'm fine. I'm not freaking out. I'm fine. What? What? All right. Paste it in there. I don't know how to do that. That's weird. I think that's it. I think we do that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move this line because it's confusing me. Move it above the home manager stuff. Nope. Okay. Now we always know we have to end there. NixOS rebuild switch. Do we have Git right now? We don't. Nope. Rebuild switch. Okay, I already ran NixOS rebuild switch with that in here, so it didn't actually need to download anything. I don't think. Your mileage may vary. So now that it's switched, do I have it? I do. And let's take a look at the configuration. Unlike what I'm used to having like a I guess Git config in here. Is that right? Does that make sense? The config is actually in, which actually makes more sense, in config, Git config. So if we cat that file, indeed. So no more forgetting to set your email and name and having to do it after your first commit. Very good. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Love it. Love it. Okay, so now let's get Z Shell set up a little bit more featurefully. Let's see, Emacs and W. I tried to get Nix mode working in Emacs, but it didn't seem to really want to do the job. I'm just going to cat this over here because it looks like the when I copy it from Emacs, it puts weird spacing in, so I'm just going to copy from the terminal instead. Oops, I need to copy. I meant the cat. Program ZSH. Copy. And programs Git. That's the last thing in there. That is the end of the home manager section right there. I'm going to paste in between that. Okay. Looks about right. Okay, so I'm enabling ZSH. By the way, I cargo built a lot of this from a guy named StarCraft66 on GitHub. His is slightly more complicated, but it's the same general idea. So enabling auto suggestions. I must admit I am not familiar enough with configuring ZSH to know exactly what that means. I think it might have to do with like not tab-based suggestions, but while you're typing, sometimes it'll go through the history and show you old commands that you might, if you complete them with like Control E, then it'll just you'll use those. Enable completion, I guess. I don't know what that means either. So I put these shell aliases in here. As a matter of fact, let me get the indenting right. These are, well, these two have to do with Nix, so I don't have to keep typing these commands in. But the other ones are ones that I've become used to, like restarting the Emacs daemon, opening things. That's just KO client exec, and then edit is the alias I use to open up text documents. You know, that runs in Emacs. I want this extra option, interactive comments, to make it more Bash compatible. Now these things I left in here. They were this totally cargo culted from his stuff. But I noticed that when I like press Control right arrow in the terminal, it doesn't skip a word. So this promises to do that somewhere. Yeah, like navigate words with Control plus arrow keys. Um, we'll see if that works or not. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, so I think that's what I need to do. I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to rebuild. Can I find it? Yes. And what happens actually is I'm a little bit fuzzy on the relationship of Home Manager's program ZSH to the system installed ZSH that is assigned via packages ZSH inside of users. Chris M, I'm a little fuzzy on it. I'm fuzzy. Very fuzzy. I don't know exactly what's happening, but I think if I open a terminal right now, that it will ask me to configure power line, power level, maybe. Let's see. Indeed. Okay. So I have to reconfigure my, we did this in an earlier video. I'll do this very quickly. Yes, that looks like a diamond. No. 3 Unicode, none, angled, sharp, flat, one line, compact, concise, no, and then instant prompt mode. Okay, I have no idea what the hell that means. It's read-only, not owned by the user. Okay. Why? Okay. All right. So let's see if. Okay, so there is some sort of conflict between the user, the NixOS user thing, which is here. No. We are back in normalcy. Let's see. NixOS configuration X. ZSH. Now, why the hell is there some Home Manager thing that I need to do to tell it to be able to get rid of shell because packages Z shell up there? Shell. Mix flakes. What? Programs bash enable. So am I doing that inside of here? Oh, I'm doing that here. Okay, so maybe I need to not do that here. Maybe I need to not do that there. And maybe I need to move this down here. I'll just comment this out up here, so I know where it goes. Okay. All right, let's try that. I'm just totally guessing here, but educated guess. Okay. All right. I want my power level, but I'll live without it for now. It's good. One thing, like, why are there such a thing as globally installed programs? Why isn't every program just installed by a user? Why do we have global programs? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that. That's easy profile. That's easy show RC. Okay, cool. I love how it cleans up after itself. I love how that global stuff cleans up after itself. So good. It's so good. It's great. So now, if I open a new terminal, what do I see? It's a very basic thing. Grep shell. It is Z shell. Okay. And I am configured, and if I, let's see if I, can I use my, I can use my arrow keys, so good. Excellent, and my control arrow keys work. And, and that, yeah, that's that auto completion stuff. Okay, that's working too. Okay, well that's good. I like it. I like it. I just have to get the power line stuff re-enabled. Yeah, okay. Very cool. Okay. Well, I think, you get the point. I could do this. I could do 100 videos like this probably, as I go forward. But I think you get the idea. I think this will be my last video, and I think I'll give my thoughts about using NixOS. I don't think that I can. I don't think that I would be able to recommend NixOS to anyone except someone almost exactly like myself, who has many years of Unix experience, and who is willing to put in the time to get a repeatable, composable build of his environments. There's one exception to that, which is that I think for deploying software, if you write software for a living, you often need to deploy it to production. I think NixOS is a really interesting potential solution for that, because it's sort of, people write Ansible scripts and they push out stuff, and they have deployment systems and AWS scripts and all kinds of stuff to do it now. And I'm sure there's people that integrate all that stuff with NixOS too, but NixOS really does make you do it right. And if you got to the point where you were comfortable packaging up your software as some sort of, I guess you'd call it a derivation, or I'm not sure what the proper term is, but if you could package it up in such a way and then pin all the versions of the stuff that for this particular thing, I guess you'd do that through like a flake, and then run the basically NixOS rebuild on your system after you put that derivation in your configuration. I think it would be a totally reasonable way to move forward in time to deploy stuff, and I think that any competent systems administrator, any competent programmer would probably see the benefit of it. That being said, I can imagine massive pushback from your coworkers on it, because it is quite a bit to swallow at once. But on the other hand, if your coworkers are dissatisfied with their current solution, which most are, then they might be ready for change. So anyway, I think for myself, for my desktop environment, I don't know, man. Like, it's cool, and I like the idea that I don't have to think about a lot of these things anymore, and they're just embedded in this configuration file. At the same time, man, there are some things in here that just aren't problems on other Unix or Linux distributions that I can see are going to be, painful on here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to maybe mess around with this some more. Then I'm going to try to daily drive the thing. We'll see what happens. And I am easily frustrated, as you can tell. And if I don't get too frustrated, if it doesn't drive me too mad, then maybe I'll switch to it for my actual daily driver. But right now I'm still on the fence. So, but that being said, it is super cool. It is so different and so weird that that's totally expected. I mean, that's just, obviously that's how that goes. So, all right, folks. Well, thanks for watching these videos. If you've watched any others, I appreciate it, and I'm going to shut the hell up now. I'll talk to you soon.